here's where we are. Came from all the way down there. And here's everybody. And here's where we're going. Oh. Anyway, so far so good.
You know, as you can see, like, he really takes his training seriously, as you can see. Today it's the BNI group, and they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, so you can see an hour and a half approximately to the ladder from here. The zigzags, everyone is great form. You know, it's been raining for the last 4 weeks. Yeah, well, that's a big thing in the ladder. And how are you keeping, lads?
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah. Getting there. Nearly there.
It's like eating an elephant. We take it out a bite at a time. The ladder, about 10 minutes. We're out of it. Lots of scrambling in there. Lots of scrambling. Just keep going a small bit up as far as there. Away from me. Everyone okay? Good. So it is, as you can see. It started as a lovely day, it turned out a real cracking day. So just passing the Kenny Bridge now, heading to Conan's.
So it's the day after Carrauntoohil. I have to say it was the most difficult challenge that I have ever taken on in my life. I would put it up there with childbirth in terms of pain and mindset. Now, what was tricky was I had practiced, I had trained, I had got my mindset right. What I had forgotten is my fear of heights. So it was really tough, really mentally and physically tough. That was the tough bit. For anybody who has climbed Carrauntoohil, they will be familiar with terms like the Devil's Ladder and how hard that is, the word that we kept saying and Pat kept saying over and over. You're committed now, there's no turning back. Up to the summit where the weather turned, back down again and down the zigzags, which is where my fear of heights really kicked in, and I was struggling. And the way I got myself through it was to keep repeating to myself, it's only a path, it's only a path. And I wouldn't look at the drop beside me, and I shot it out, I cut it out of my sideline, my peripheral vision. But I was really struggling and I kept repeating to myself. So there was a mad woman up in Carrauntoohil last night talking to herself the whole way down that zigzag saying, it's only a path, hope floats. And whenever I thought I can't do this anymore and I was shaking with fear, I just kept thinking of the women and some men, but it is mostly women because it's mostly women who experience domestic violence. 94% of incidences are perpetrated by men against women. So I just kept thinking of all those women who have that fear when they hear the key in the door. And I kept thinking, if they can do this, if they can get out of that awful situation, I can do the zigzags. Now, I couldn't have done it without the wonderful Pat Falvey. That was one thing, we were very, very confident that we had selected the absolute best guide in the whole world, so we weren't worried for our safety. And Pat realised what was happening with me and came back and took my hand and held my hand all the way down. And if it wasn't for Pat, I would still be inching my way down the zigzags today. And you know, that's what these women need. This is why I was raising money, is because all they need is somebody to hold their hand through the really difficult bits. So I have to shout out as well to our BNI team, the regional team that we did the climb with. We did it as a team. They're a magnificent team, and we just had a blast together and supported each other. Whenever anybody was struggling, the rest of the team just rallied round, and it was brilliant. So thank you to everybody who's donated to the Hope Floats fundraiser so far. I would love if you would share the link. It's going to stay live for another little while. I'm not finished, but every single cent that's raised in that will go towards providing emergency accommodation for those experiencing domestic violence in the counties of Cavan and Monaghan, where there is currently no refuge. Really glad to be able to say that I did Carrauntoohil, and thank you so much.
You sure did.
Thank you so much to Pat Falvey and the whole team.
Well, all I can say is that it was an amazing experience for me as well, and I suppose what it does show in relation to charity as well, everyone has an Everest. There's not one person who hasn't an Everest. You had your Everest yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah.
But the thing about it is 80% of all fear is imaginary. And when you have people, and it's most important, is to find those people that have your back. And if you can find people that have your back, and that's exactly what you're doing, is if someone out there is a problem, you know, find someone to have your back, and I know this is what you're doing. So look, well done. It wasn't easy. Like, Carrauntoohil is not easy. It's actually hard, but it's a challenge, and people love challenges. And everybody that went up yesterday got it. Everyone suffered a little, but you know what? We were there as a team. We each had each other's back, and I know this is what you intend to with the charity. So it's Pat Falvey, over and out from here in the Mountain Lodge, and I'll hand it back to you, and you can have the final say.
Yeah, the final say is that the reason I'm recording this on Sunday is that my hands froze so much that they swelled up, and I couldn't even get my mittens on. They were so swollen, and it took about 4 hours for them to thaw out. I couldn't even press the button on my fob on my car to get it to open yesterday. I was absolutely wiped. But I've had a good sleep now, and that's why we're recording now on Sunday. So,
well, that's it.
Thanks,
back
guys.
to normal,
Back
and
to
well
normal.
done.
Thank
Congratulations.
you
get the cert as well, by the way.
Great.
That's it. Thanks.